Oh man, we here, baby. We live. We live and direct. I couldn't even throw on a good shirt for y'all today. I couldn't even get my motivation mug on. A lot of that is due to super motivated weekend that got set up. Remember, I always talk about your weekend setting up. Your Monday, your motivation Monday. Well, that's where I'm at with it today. That's where I'm at with it today. Super motivated weekend. Shout out to everybody that was a part of the Atlantic City overnight excursion comedy jam. Uh, it was crazy. It was so crazy to the fact where, I'm using every little bit of energy today, man. Two more gigs to do virtually, and I kicked them feet up, man, and kind of recharge everything. It is Motivation Monday. How was your weekend? Did you do something Friday, Saturday, Sunday to set up? And some of y'all start on Thursday, you alcoholics, to set up your Monday, like I did. Ask yourself that. Think back. Revisit your steps, what you did. Well, first of all, very motivating news. The election wise, things are continuing forward. Let's do that. The Electoral College had to do their thing today and confirm Joe Biden, whatever, state by state. That happened 302 to 232. So boom, I'm motivated on that. My weekend, however, though, I'm going to be talking about the whole hour. Hopefully, a couple of guests I invited in will be here before the hour's up that can chime in and give their thoughts and their opinion on what I'm talking about. My co-host, Amir Sealy, who's always with me in the studio. Hopefully, he'll be fine too because, little Wi-Fi problems, technical difficulties last week. We'll see if we get them rectified. My super producer will pop them in. As soon as you see him backstage, just bring him on in and we'll deal with whatever we got. Hey, there you go.
What's going on? How's everything?
Hold on. How is your thing working better outside?
I have no clue, sir. I have no clue.
Yo,
I,
son, come on, son. The
yeah, I don't,
feds. The
I
feds.
don't know. See, I wish I knew, brother, but again, I'm trying to get this thing situated. Look, it's motivational Monday, so it is a
Right.
will, there's a way, and I'm trying to stay motivated. I thought about it. I said, well, maybe if I step outside, the fresh air, and I have no idea. I guess sometimes some of our machines don't work inside as well as we hope they will or should
Right.
or whatever. Then you go outside and everything clears up like it's supposed to. So thankfully, it's working. Sitting outside,
Right.
as y'all can see, it's beautiful. Fall like day here in Vegas, but we here.
It
So
looks nice. It's so is it chilly?
it's a chill on the air. It's not as chilly, obviously as New York and whatnot. I think we had 56, 57 degrees, something like that today.
Oh, that's
So it's
nice.
pretty decent out here. Yeah.
That's right at that marker, man. So anyway, how was your weekend, bro? What
The
get anything done? Talk to me.
the weekend was good. The weekend was good. I can't complain. To be honest with you, only drawback was watching the Giants lose yesterday.
Oh man, don't remind
uh,
me of that, man. I
you
lost so much
know,
money.
I was just, I just frustrated with sometimes the mind frame, the mindsets of some of the organizations that we cheer for and that we feel like we're a part of. And with the Giants, while I think it's great that they trying to bring back the starting QB, you can see he looked scared yesterday. Sir, if you're gonna come back, you either got to come back full on or don't come back at all. The dude Cody appeared to step in and at least had the momentum going. If it means you got to fight for your job next year, so be it. But back to motivational Monday. The rest of the weekend was beautiful. The weather's
Right.
been absolutely incredible out here, and just to the point about what this is all about. I always take the end of the year to just kind of look back over the year and really put into perspective things that went well, things that didn't go well, and try to figure out what serves me still and what things I need to get rid of and replace, or things I should replace with newer and better ideologies so that I can continue to, get things done. So that's what
Okay.
the, time out here is usually, and my end of the year is always like. So I'm happy. I know Christmas is only a couple of days away. It's kind of weird saying that because, for a lot of us, yes, you save money. You're happy to, still be around. But I don't know if Christmas has the same ring that it's had in, years past just because of how interesting this year has been. You know what I mean? I think we all should really take into consideration how amazing it is to still be with our families, still hopefully have our health pretty much intact,
Right.
and be able to enjoy this, whatever's, to come. 2021 can't be no worse than what we did in 2020. So
Hey, listen,
we got to,
2020, man. 2020, bro, is, it. Let me tell you something. This right here is a full-time job. Even though we come on Mondays and do it like that one day out of the week, it don't mean the 6 days before we make it back here, like tomorrow's Tuesday, it starts, right? Until
hmm
next Monday. Those 6 days, it ain't like they give us an easy 6 days. Them shits be trying. You understand me?
yes,
Like, and then you gotta fight each day to stay motivated to counteract whatever that is. You're gonna get
hmm
the act. So you gotta counteract or react. And 6 days of that shit, man, till you come all the way back to Monday. And hopefully if you fought it off good enough, you're still motivated for the next week. I say that to say because we bring up 2020, which has been a bad news after bad news, bang after bang, like knocking us against the wall. Like I feel like human beings are, especially American citizens, that Avengers movie when the Hulk took Loki. Remember Loki was talking mad shit, and they like, I feel like that's what 2020 got us.
yeah, yo,
You know what I mean? And it won't stop. Like here we are, December, thinking, okay, well, can we at least coast through December and get our mind right for January? No, no. I'm taking Tiny Lister. I'm taking Debo.
whoa,
Uh, and me personally, I'm taking comedian 6 foot of Slim. I'm taking your girl you used to date, Ursula. I'm taking like, dude, all of the last 4 or 5 days, I'm like, 2020 is on some real we ain't letting go shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you know
Only thing I could say is you got to find those
those
blurs
little,
of light.
yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean?
I think to the point that you were making, yes, we call it motivational Monday, but I really feel like you got to break it down, like you said, into small increments and just make every day technically a motivational situation, hopefully for yourself. As I've said on other broadcasts and as I've said, shared with you, music is my one way to, kind of get me through things. So, between Twitch, if the people out here, looking, if you don't have the Twitch app, twitchtv.com or something like that, please get you the Twitch app. IG Live, look up some of your favorite DJs. You'd be surprised at how much amazing music these guys are playing on a constant basis. That if you're a music person, can really just take you, out of that odd energy for, even if it's just a minute, an hour, or whatever the case may be, or however long they're on, put you at least in a space and in some energy that allows you
Mhm.
to continue to move in a positive way. Um,
Right.
you got that. You got memes. You got great people such as yourself and a lot of the other comedians from your community who are putting amazing content all over the internet as well. So you got to tune into those little clips. Get your laugh on. Smile. Stop being so frustrated, and please stop being so scared to death about every single solitary thing that you hear. Look,
Well,
it's
let me tell you this:
information.
two pieces of good news just came across the wire within the last hour.
Okay.
One is the electoral college went in and did their voting thing, put their votes in to confirm and reaffirm President-elect Joe Biden did win. So
Okay.
that part is done. Great news.
Great
Is
news.
motivating me. I'm now Monday. I don't usually drink, but I'm like, should I have one? You know what I'm saying? And part two, the Attorney General Bill Barr has resigned.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. You look. I'm a speak for me because the issue for me and the elephant in the room, as talent likes to say, and I hope that everybody who's paying attention, y'all really just listen, because I think we need to go back to thinking for ourselves. We need to go back to looking at information and understanding that things should fit together. People, please help me understand how everybody on his team has either been fired, resigned, or been brought up on some sort of charges in some way, shape, or form. Yet everything, quote unquote, he says or everything that he supposedly does makes sense. I'm confused. And I don't mean that there's any knock to anybody. I'm just saying that's a
You know,
confusing situation to me.
it's funny.
How?
No, normally at the end of a presidency, the president he be pardoning mad random people. Trump has been pardoned all friends and ex-workers and colleagues.
You know, I feel like you watching bad episodes of shows like For Life. You name it. SUV. SUV, whatever. You like, come on, dude. Like, who does this? And the interesting thing is, everybody will say, well, it's a conspiracy, it's this, it's that, and trust and believe. I get and understand that people feel and think that way. But
Right.
guys, we went from having quote unquote information that serves us, that informs us, that puts us in the right spaces so that we can make proper decisions, to now having to question every single solitary thing we hear.
Right.
I want y'all to really.
And there's a third piece of good news, Amir, depending on where you
Okay.
stand on this, is today
The
we
vaccine.
tested the first vaccine in New York City.
Hmm.
Lady
Okay.
from Queens, and they went in there and she took the first shot of that shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, again, look, I'm online. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. I'm not fighting with anybody. I think anybody and everybody who feels that the vaccine is a great idea, by all means, please protect yourself, protect your families, and do what you think makes sense to you. I will say this, and this is again me just looking at it from an optic standpoint. Interestingly enough, somebody pointed out to me, they said, Amir, this one is not a governmental situation. This was actually a group of Black doctors that supposedly got together and really worked hard on this. The only issue that I have with that is this, y'all. In the history of this country, every great invention that we've ever been a part of, and that goes all the way back to the light, to heat in your homes and all that stuff, have been Black people behind it. You can do your own research on that whenever you get a moment.
Right.
Interestingly enough, because this vaccine supposedly is supposed to be great for you, this, that, the third, we went right in and started putting the Black people right up front. Hey, these were the people who worked on it. This same success in all the other areas when we've done so much for this country. I'll wait. Like I said, y'all don't have to believe me. Please do the research on your own.
Yeah.
Check it out.
No,
Make sure it makes sense. I'm just saying sometimes some things look a little shaky and interesting to me. And like I said, that's me speaking for me. That does not mean that I don't think that people should take the vaccine and protect themselves. I think you should do what you think makes sense to you and your family. But that just looks a little
that's how I
interesting
stand
to
on it.
me.
I'm not gonna make anybody do anything. Like, whatever you do is how you do. How I see it is how I see it. I just think it's it's very funny how, people that have questions, the number one question, the most common denominator in questions is, you spent this amount of years, couldn't find cancer. This amount of years couldn't do AIDS, HIV. This amount of years couldn't the common cold. So now,
Look, we better leave the
within that,
vaccine. We better leave the vaccine alone. Let's go
no,
back to
no,
motivational
I'm
Monday.
just saying it was too fast. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That's motivating, depending on what side of the gate you stand on. You know what I mean? So, hey, to each his own. Uh, our show today, I'm going to talk about the weekend and what I feel about the weekend, because I had kind of an epiphany watching all these people come out this weekend. So I'm going to talk about that. We have a guest, Reverend Kenny Robb, coming in, because I want to get on the spiritual side of what's really going on with this motivation and how do you from a spiritual faith standpoint, what are they doing? What are they preaching these days, and how are they going about it? So, Reverend Kenny Robb, super producer, bring him in. As soon as he's on the check-in backstage, bring Kenny Robb in. Feel free. Don't even wait for an intro, and they're going to jump in on that, because we talk about a lot of stuff. Good day, Rev. What's up, Rev?
Hey,
Hello, Rev.
How you
how
doing,
you
sir?
doing there? How you doing there?
I'm good. I'm good. You look like you broke in somebody else's house, though. The angle, the the angle. I said, times getting bad when the reverends are breaking in your house. And, you know, y'all don't take stuff out. Y'all put stuff in.
Yeah, we put stuff in. We put stuff in, brother. You know what I mean?
Well, happy Monday. This is Motivation Monday. Welcome to the show. This is my partner, Amir Sealy. right here. This is the good brother that sits with me every Monday as we try to poke holes in this thing and push people to the positive side. Now, there's
Amen.
a couple of reasons I wanted to have you on there. First
How you doing,
question
Reverend?
for me
Right.
is, like I just said before we brought you on, we sit here and we do it our way of trying to figure out a way to motivate people, correct? Now, at you being faith first, let's say,
Yeah.
and a reverend in its own right, how do you go about pushing people to stay motivated and positive during this crazy time? And then how do you go about it? Like literally, like, are you congregating with small groups? Are you zooming it virtually? How are you
Well,
getting it done?
we our church service is a small group
Hmm.
as far as it holds about 400 people,
Right.
but there's probably on average 23 people that comes to the building.
Okay.
And that's mainly the officers, the choir. It's only 6 choir members. We
Hmm.
reduce that, and we spread out the choir stand. Everyone is required to get their temperature taken when you walk into the building. No matter which door you come in, there's somebody there waiting,
Right.
and everyone has to have a mask. If you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask, then you'll be asked to leave. You understand?
I got you. So
We do
this
have
is in the state of Pennsylvania, correct?
right.
Okay.
We do Zoom our Sunday school classes, and our Bible study. We do Zoom that. But I have gotten a few of the men together when we were allowed to go in the restaurants, and the restaurants would lend me their back room. It would be about 6 of us, and we'd
Right.
spread out, and I would do a breakfast Bible study.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
And then you would stream that or go live.
Well, that I wouldn't stream.
Okay, so that would be personal.
That would be personal.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Now,
would be the only thing we have. That would be personal.
what is a middle of a pandemic sermon like? Does the sermon change? Or because to me, a lot of my faith given driven messages over the years, even coming up as a youth in the church, they were so general. They kind of covered no matter what you were going through or what was going on.
Everything.
Yeah.
They covered everything.
Yeah.
But there are particular passages in the Bible that you can touch on when the odds seem so insurmountable.
Got you.
Um, you know, but it's all about hope. It's all about faith, trusting and believing.
Hmm.
I was talking to my Muslim brother because I had the opportunity to preach at the mosque.
Oh, nice.
As a Baptist preacher, because I believe that Satan is trying to divide blacks and black men. And so you preach to everybody. They would have us to believe that we should hate our Muslim brothers
Right.
and vice versa. And I set the record straight that there is no hate.
Right.
We are all black men, you know.
So how did this come about to you? Was this did it originate with you, or did somebody give you a call and say, "Hey, bro"?
Yeah, I met with one of the brother Muhammad who was over the mosque, and he had reached out to a few other pastors, and they weren't comfortable.
Right.
And then he reached out to me, and when I accepted, and he said, "Why did you accept it so eagerly?" And I said, "Well, if I believe in what I believe in, why not you?"
Mm,
That's crazy.
that's a
How
good point. That's a good point.
look how crazy that is. How we can have these faith battles. You know what I mean? Like that goes on. You got rap battles, you got breakdancing battles, you got comedy battles, and you actually got the nerve to have faith battles. I feel like you. To me, is 100 religions. I feel like Satan. is verse all of them.
A common denominator in all of them. I agree with you. I think that that's a valid point, Talon. I also think, Reverend, to your point about, reaching out and allowing your word to be heard, in another denomination, I think is a great thing. I think part of the problem is, as a collective, we tend to, so much compartmentalize things, for ourselves, and then we stick, so hard and so solely to, our belief systems, that we forget this is an entire big world out here. The interesting thing is, if look through each and every faith, there are a lot of lines and things that technically are the exact same messages and the exact same lines that go through all of them. And it's a shame
They're
that people,
they're only divided by a few things. Morally, every religion basically has the same moral principle. Don't kill, don't steal, don't fornicate. They pretty much have the basic commonality. But in this pandemic, as much as they want to be divided, everybody got a mask on now. Muslim,
Right.
Catholics, Baptists, Protestants, because this is a people thing now. And see, even in the Baptist and the Christian faith, we get so caught up. But Jesus didn't have a religion. I mean, he came up through the Jew line. I want to say Jew line, not Jewish, but the original Jew.
Right.
He came up through the line of Jew or Judaism, but there was no Christianity. There was no Protestant. There was none of that. Those are the things that man has made up, and has caused a divide in the whole realm of spirituality. It has caused a great divide.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, and it's real. So we know that it exists. We touched on that, and so we all agree that it exists, the great divide, and all the antics that go into something like division. Here we are now, 9 months down the line. In that final month of the year, it almost took up a whole year. We've been shutting down since the middle of March, and you're limited with what you can physically do in person. And like you said, you do a certain amount, you space them out, you take the temperature, you got the mask on, and you broadcast some of that stuff. The Bible tells you certain things to your constituency. How long do you think that this will last? And is there another plan down the line, or you do this as long as you can until you can do it fully the right way?
We try to follow the government. The Bible says, give Caesar what is due Caesar, and give God what is due God. And so we try to follow the lines of the government to keep our people safe. We're saying, hopefully by June or July, we're hoping to see a change. If not, we keep going.
Right.
Because see, the church doesn't stop. If they say, hey, this is 2 more years, then we continue doing service the way we're doing. We'll continue our food bank. We'll continue reaching out.
Right.
We'll continue. It's a little more difficult to, get people in the building because we want to limit that. But we will continue to reach out. And I always encourage my people, you don't have to invite them to the church, but we have to continue to invite them into the presence of God.
Got you. So here's a question for you. Because I'm curious. I know that the church, usually they have a constituency in the community where there's people that they reach out to and help, whether it's just getting by, whether it's keeping some, older widow electricity on, whether it's helping a single mom feed her kids so they can get up, go to school, or get some clothes raised or some shoes. You know, you do all types of things for all type of people in the constituency and the community at large. Since this hit, have those numbers fluctuated?
Oh yeah, yes. And it's funny because if we do right in due season,
Mhm.
then we should be able to weather this storm for a year and still be able to help out
Gotcha.
if we'd have done right in due season. And this is why it's always critical for the black churches to be very honorable when it comes to handling the money, because the community is looking at us, and when they fall on their knees, they're going to expect us, whether they are believers or not,
Right.
but they're going to expect us to pick them up.
True.
Mm.
That's true. That's all the truth in the world right there. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Reverend Robertson, we call him Kenny Rob because, you know, his background, when I met him, I don't even know, it was 20 years ago, whatever, he was in the comedy game, Amir. He was a
Wow.
very funny stand-up comedian. We were going to Harrisburg on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, and that's how I met the Rev. And, you know, now fully ordained, full blown out there, getting it in, spreading the word, passing the faith on from one parishioner to the next. I want to say I thank you, man. And if nobody told you as of late, you are greatly appreciated, brother.
Amen. Hey, talent.
Yes, sir.
We come a long way, man.
I just was telling my partner and the people listen. I just gave the quick background of we did come a long way. Matter of fact, since we're at the midpoint of the show, brother, Rev, I would love for you to bless us with some words, you know, some ongoing words, man, some blessings.
Okay, well I tell you what.
Yes, sir.
This is what I would like people to understand and to know is that even though it looks like God is not listening and you think he's not coming to the aid, he really is. Because some of us didn't catch the virus. So he protected us. Some of us caught the virus and we didn't die. So he kept us. And so just hold on.
Right.
Because not help is on the way. Help is here. Help is here. And take this time right here.
Right.
This moment of isolation to become more solidarity with your family.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the time you need to bond with your son that was a little wayward, or your daughter, or getting your wife, your relationship back intact. Or maybe this is the opportunity for you to get closer to God. You know, but don't just sit around and complain that nothing is happening. Because, you know, some people have been thriving through the pandemic.
True.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that's complaining about wearing the mask.
That's true.
Yeah.
Amen, my brother. Amen. You hit that nail on the head.
Yes. Powerful.
You hit that nail on the head.
Powerful.
Brother, what's your name over here on the right?
Amir.
Amir, I listened to you the first time I saw you guys do your thing. And man, let me tell you something, bro. I dig your rap.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I dig your
Really
rap, brother.
appreciate
I
that.
dig your rap. Talon,
Well,
I
we
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
hey, salute, sir.
my
Rev,
man.
Yes.
it's a pleasure, man. I'm gonna call on you time and time to drop some sermon on us, man, and keep us going.
Hey, man, listen. And before I go, tell you this is all what your listeners to hear. Don't pretend to be what you don't intend to be.
Ooh,
Be true to
ooh.
Mm,
yourself.
nice.
Thank you, my brother. Stay
Nice.
blessed.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man.
Bless
God
up.
bless you.
You got it,
Salute.
brother. Bless up. I like that. That's
Yeah,
deeper
that
than
was
what it
really
sounds.
good.
Don't pretend to be what you
What you
intend to be.
intend to be. Wow.
Okay.
He even the nugget he dropped, just before that with um speaking about really the moment that we're in. Like he said, everything from building or rebuilding relationships, be it family, be it like you said with your kids, be it, who with whomever or whatever.
Right.
I think, if more people, and you and I have, kind of been talking about that since day one, if more people were just understanding being in the moment. I get,
Right.
like you said, I even watched, earlier, this morning when you did your normal morning thing, you were talking about how great your show was this weekend. And, the people came out. And we are, people are itching to get back out. They're itching to, be seen again and to be around people. And all of that is great, y'all. And this is coming. But in the meantime, we need everybody to take a moment. And like I said, start really taking a good hard look, hopefully at yourselves. And like I said, at the things that you already think serve you or don't serve you, and start taking some of those things off your plate and start replacing them with things that you know will really serve you, your family, your friends. I tell Talon all the time, one of the things that I'm blessed for in this, pandemic, him, and he could tell you we've been friends, God knows, more than 20 years or so, even to the point that, like I said, I've been around them long enough for people to think that I was in comedy, and I'm not. I just love what these guys do, and that means all of my, brothers in comedy. But
That's how
the
it goes,
point
man.
is, because this gentleman has had numerous conversations with me, and because he sees things in me that sometimes I can't see in myself, and that's something else that we have to do. We have to start turning those lights on in our friends, in our
Right.
kids, in our associates, in our family members, because sometimes they can't see it. And not because they don't think that it's there. They may not have enough faith in themselves. So sometimes it takes other people outside of your normal circle of people who tell you, I believe in you. I think that what you have to say is imperative. I think that you're an incredible, human being. Sometimes it takes people outside of your normal circle because, in a real sense, we already think to ourselves, those people are supposed to say that. They already love us. They're supposed to do those things. So sometimes it takes
Absolutely.
people outside of your circle to really start to open your eyes about things that you're capable of, things that you bring to the table, the beauty and the blessings that you're supposed to bring to the world, because every one of us has some sort of gift. I don't care what it is that you're supposed to be sharing with the world. That's really why you're here. It ain't got nothing
Got
to
you.
do with whether or not you're going to churches or going to mosques or going to temples. It just has to do with your brand of who you are, as that gentleman just said, bringing it to the world so that the world can enjoy it in whatever version that is.
Well, on that note,
You
let's
know,
bring in another guest. Comedians are in the building from this weekend. Let's bring my comedian friend up to the forefront, who's sitting backstage. The one and only John Phillips I know is in here. John, what's popping?
Yo, what's up, yo?
My man, John
John, what's going
Archibald
on, brother? How's everything?
Phillips.
Good, what's up? What's up, my man? Chilling, bro. I'm already
Hey,
Good.
man, let me tell you something. I said it this morning, and it's been resonating with me all through the day and afternoon and evening that this weekend, for people that don't know, we did a weekend thing out in Atlantic City, and it wasn't even about the numbers per se. It was about the energy. And I started to think, I said, you know what? This is the worst year ever that we claimed it, but it's about to end up being a blessing in disguise. I think COVID is going to be the single-handedly thing that rejuvenates the entertainment industry going forward. I
Mm,
think we're going to come out the side, and the business is going to boom because people when you miss something, it's gone. You start to realize that. You know what I
right.
mean? So I think that that's going to happen. I don't know if somebody's audio is crackling. See if that's yours, John. Jump out and jump back in.
God.
Let me check on that. I'm coming, Robo. You know, the puppies are, you know, they hate this show because this is an hour that they got to be to the side, right away, you know. So I look back there. All right, you're almost there, buddy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you jumped out. You thought it was yours?
I don't know what happened. I told you for some reason it'll go fine for a minute, then all of a sudden it'll just stop, and I don't know what the situation is. Like I said, I'm out you can see the sun shining off me, so this
Oh no,
gives
no,
you an idea how beautiful the
you were
day it
good.
is.
You were good. Okay, let me see. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, so you're clear now. You had some sort of crackling thing. See it right there? I don't know if it's something you're moving or what, but how do you feel about the energy this weekend, man? Because John was there, and John performed on 3 of the 5 shows that we had Friday and Saturday. And, you know, needless to say, he ripped all 3 shows, but the energy, like talking to people before, talking to people after, moving around the hotel, the casino, just talking to people, getting a vibe. What do you think?
I think everybody really enjoyed themselves. It was like a vacation you finally got to go on after they canceled it so many times.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, the energy was good. Everybody. It
I
was. It
mean,
was.
I mean, I got a sense of, like I said, I got pulled aside 3 or 4 times on one-to-ones of how important it was to somebody. And everybody's reason was different. Like the one that stood out the most was the young lady in her 3rd bout with breast cancer, you know, and it probably stood out because it was least expected. I expected people to be like, oh, this is good, man, you know, because people haven't been around it. I've been working it the best I can since the pandemic and pockets, if you will. And you get to talk to people in these pockets. So I kind of, you know, expected a little more of the same, except
Right.
when you went that deep, I was flabbergasted.
Right. No,
You know what I mean?
what was it? The lip singing, drunk lip singing.
The drunk lip syncing.
I think that's the first time I seen that, man. Yo,
Amir could really appreciate that. You know, we do this drunk karaoke thing, lip syncing thing, and what happens is we bring up, I think we have vodka and tequila and a shot glass, and we pour a shot. You gotta take a shot and then go into whatever song you want to.
But I tell you, again, in this moment and in this time, there are so many things that are needed, on a constant basis, just again, so people can get out of their own way in a real sense. So many people are, like you said, to the point you made about the woman who was dealing with breast cancer. So many people are dealing with those kinds of situations during this pandemic. I mean, we've all just been focused on the pandemic, obviously, and for obvious reasons. But I know personally, I have, 2 very good friends of mine whose wives are fighting cancer during this whole pandemic. You
Right.
can't obviously go to the hospital and visit with your loved ones. I mean, there's so many little nuances that are going on that aren't being talked about and that nobody even knows, but people are putting their best foot forward, putting their best smile forward, obviously putting forth the best energy that they can under the circumstances in order to get through this. So, when you guys come up with these wonderful moments that you're coming up with, like you said, that are pockets where there's comedy done or like you said, drunk singing, it's the perfect way for people to just totally woosah and take a moment, because so many people are finding themselves in moments where they like, if I don't even know what else to do at this point. You know what I mean? So,
one of the comedians said
again,
it best.
kudos.
One of the comedians said it best yesterday. He said, "We're gonna get through this."
He didn't. You so stupid. The comedian didn't mean that. That's very funny. Now, but we had a total of. I'm trying to think how many comedians we had. I want to say, what do you think? 12, John?
All together, yep.
About 12 during the course of the weekend, split between 5 shows.
Right.
Maybe more. Maybe 13. I'm gonna sit down and think about it. But again, look at this way, that when you take something away from somebody and they miss it, they want it even more. You know, if they really wanted it in the first place, they're going to come back with what we call a vengeance to get it.
Right.
So imagine a year of people not being able to do something simple like go to a comedy show or go to see their
Hmm.
favorite artist, or you know what I mean? It ain't no different than a restaurant. I got favorite restaurants that I gotta have it. You know, I gotta eat my food from such and such. So whether it was curbside or delivery or takeout, I had to have it. So you got the same thing with entertainment. So I think on the other side of this, when it's all said and done, people are gonna be rushing, you know, to go see their thing. And comedy already has a big base.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
imagine the comeback.
Right.
You know what I mean? So John,
Yeah.
did you get a chance to talk to a lot of people off duty, off stage?
Oh yeah, they was just asking us like asking me what's the next event. They were just like we can't. It was basically like if you said yo they got a hot dog contest downstairs. They was with it. They were just willing to go to the next event. You know, they didn't know what the next event was. I didn't even know. They like, who got the itinerary? They was running around. I'm telling you, it was like kids being in school and you finally let them out for recess.
Right, right. That's a good one. That's a good analogy right there.
Yeah.
Because we used to bust out that door.
Yo, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait to get to that yard. You got to that yard, yo.
The only thing I've seen look like that is when you watch those old westerns and somebody's herding cows, you know what I mean, or horses.
And then
They got
everybody.
a herd of them. That's how that's how that door bust open to Reese. That's a good one. That makes all the sense in the world. I mean, but I think that I say all that to say if you're a comic or entertainer for that pack, you got something to look forward to. You should be motivated. Can't wait till it's over because you know it's coming flooding back. That's gonna be great for a guy like me who controls, promotes, and markets his own thing. You know what I mean? If you're the guy who puts things together and you're that guy,
Yeah.
that's gonna be super great. I could see
Yeah.
them right on the corner already. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you in person, John. Appreciate it, my brother. And
No doubt.
you know, I'll get to see you at some point. Let's talk tomorrow, bro. I gotta
All
come
right,
out
got
your
it.
way.
All right,
I gotta come out your way tomorrow. Salute.
all right, bro. All right, man.
Salute, John.
Right there, man. Appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. John Phillips on the show with the weird noise. I don't know what that was. Yeah. It's like somebody was trying to spark a lighter the whole time. Like, I'm like, smoke the cigarette already. Jesus Christ. No, but that was kind of awesome. He was like, yo, it's like going out to recess. He just like
Reset. Yeah.
remember those days? Like it's funny because when you knew recess was coming, a little different. But it was those days where a class was dropped or something happened. The best resolution they had was let him out for recess for a
Let him
market.
go outside. You out there acting a fool. You almost hope that they don't say come back. You'd be like, yo, son, if they don't say come back, we're
Yo,
gonna tip
it's
off.
so real. That's so real.
Yeah.
That is so real, man.
That,
Nah, but so I mean that's one thing. Like I said, all these things that we splattered on the wall in this show this hour, everything is for you to. Some of this has to affect your life. It has to fit in some people's lives one way or another, and use that as motivation. Is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
yes.
To each his own.
Yes.
Some people, it's the vaccine. For some people, it's the electoral thing because President 4-5 sprinkles so much acid on everything. If you don't know, you will be confused. If you don't keep up
Yes.
with this thing and how it goes, you can easily be confused. You know, so is
You
that,
can.
or you may be an entertainer or promoter or marketer who deals with the entertainment business. And this piece right here that I'm talking about is motivating. Or you may be a person, a man or a woman of faith. And the Reverend Kenny Robinson that was on here had a few
Yes.
words. Maybe that's your motivation. Whatever it is, we're just here to splatter these things on the wall, and you find what motivates you in there and what direction to take from there. Because this year's wrapping to an end quickly.
Yes. Quickly. Quickly. You know, and the beauty of it is again, just take these moments moment by moment too. I know we have a tendency to look for the bigger picture, which is, what life tells you or what, they've told you to this point in life. But
Right.
this slowdown should have hopefully showed a lot of people that you have to take almost like you do with a camera, frame by frame, because
Yeah.
with each frame, there's something new or a new nuance to appreciate, a new nuance to feel happy about, something that you might have missed before. Being out here in Vegas, a lot of mountains and stuff like that. So, when you drive and you get a chance to see, the mountains.
Right.
And, living in New York all of our lives, or most of my life anyway, all I know is tall buildings and tenements and, things like that. So when you get an opportunity to be in a space now where you can honestly see nature, see birds differently, see plant life different, just see landscape different. You have to take those moments in. You got to drink those moments in. It's like going on vacation. If you've never seen a pretty sunset by sitting on the beach, you got to take that in and you got to appreciate it, because you know what it's like to see the sun set over the projects. You know what it's like to see the sun set in the hood, which is
Right.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. But the point is, we have to start doing a better job, hopefully, of drinking in every single solitary moment. And you hopefully can use that same train of thought across the whole livelihood of your life. Part of the problem that we have as men and women, as human beings, is we tend to take certain ideologies and we only compartmentalize them for certain moments in life, as opposed to, you need to use that broad stroke against, across everything. Being home, I just recently started watching this show For Life, that 50 Cent
Yeah, I like that show.
inspired show For Life. I just recently started watching it, and the show is incredible, first and foremost. But in watching the show, that's what made me just come up with that ideology. You've got to take each moment and really appreciate it. Too many of us are thinking that there's some magic destination that you can get to, and that's when happiness starts, or that's when things become clear, or that's when things become fun and wonderful. No, you got to take this moment, this minute, be happy,
Right.
enjoy it, be excited, so that when you get to the next moment, if it may or may not have that same excitement, at least you're keeping that
least.
gauge high, you're keeping
Right.
that energy high. Our energy is all that we have. In all fairness to all religions, and all fairness to all faiths and denominations and beliefs, all they are energy. That's all that is energy. When you pray, all you're doing is sending energy into the universe to hopefully give you back what it is you hope to see manifest in your life or in somebody else's life, because we do pray for others as well. But
Exactly.
in saying that and in doing that, what you're honestly doing is just telling and hopefully giving the universe, God, whatever your higher being, higher power is, the clearest picture for what you want to see manifested. And if you can do that and feel great about it, stop hating on your neighbor, stop hating on your friends, your boys, your sister, your brother, whoever, for nothing. Look, it might be their turn. It is what it is. You got to celebrate their turn too, so that when your turn comes, the celebration continues. We got to stop with this. I'm hating on this dude because right now things are going great for him or her, and I'm not getting my time. It's not your time. It's
Right.
not your time. You and I are sports dudes. We noticed, having watched sports, you made a perfect analogy today on your sports talk show that I was like, yes, talking about LeBron. For
Right.
all the hate that this man receives, good, bad, and indifferent, it's his moment, y'all. You could be
Yeah.
mad about him all you want. When Jordan had his moment, I don't remember y'all talking about it wasn't fair that he had the Jordan rules. And for those of y'all who really follow basketball, he did have the Jordan rules where you couldn't breathe on him, you couldn't touch him. So stop acting
Right.
like he didn't have it. You know,
Right.
all of these players have their moments where everything, unfortunately or fortunately, is in alignment for them in some way, shape, or form. And we've got to learn that that happens for everybody. That happens for you. It happens for me. Talent, through the course of your career, how many different situations have aligned for you that in a real sense, when you probably first started in comedy, you never would have thought. I would have hosted Showtime at the Apollo. I would have ended up on the radio. You were just
Yeah.
like, look, I'm like making people laugh.
Like,
That's the
I
whole
signed up
ownership.
for one thing and all these other things come with it.
Doors open.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Even when we do our lives, no matter, what you say, I'm amazed at some of the names that I see pop up on our lives, because they're people who I admire, from other walks of life, other, entertainment entities. And I'm always like, oh my God, wow, they took a moment to jump on our live. Not that I don't expect that they will or they won't, but my thing is, that's what I mean about appreciating your moments and saying to yourself, if I just share what feels passionate and powerful to me, the rest of those things will take care of themselves. And I hope and pray that this motivational Monday gives each and every one of us the opportunity to do that. That's what this should be about. It should be about you feeling empowered to
Right.
empower the people in your circle and the people around you. Because if all of y'all are doing great, how you gonna be jealous of somebody? Where?
Fact.
How? How?
No,
You know what
that's
I
a fact.
mean?
But I mean, again, we talked about this on a previous show, how, we, and it's funny you say that because I just had a conversation Friday and Saturday, because talking to Tony Bird, I got to repeat myself a lot. I love her, and I love her comedy from day one. And I try to tell her, I had to reiterate everything again this weekend because she's one of those people, like, she reads way too much into things sometimes. Like, so she's one of those people that if she can't get in touch with me for a certain amount of time, oh, talent's ignore me. No, talent is super duper busy. So it's not that I'm sitting down, don't answer Tony Bird. I don't have a chance yet that I can reach back to. Like today, Monday's my busiest day virtually. So when people make calls or reach out to me, they might not get hit back to Tuesday because after I get off this one, I'm jumping on this one. I give myself 30 minutes. I got 30 between the go pee or take a shower or get some drink or
Or
get
whatever.
something to eat. So it may go over to Tuesday. That's just how Monday is. That's how I got packed up. So I had to reiterate that part to it. And I also had to tell her, like, because she gets very emotional. And I'm like, yo, you are gonna get in your own way. You stepping in your own way each time. Like, you care about things that mean nothing to you. You make them mean something to you. So it's nobody else's fault but your own when you do that. You know what I mean? And I said it Friday, then come down and she says something about something that goes back to me, have to regurgitate and read what I just said last night. And she's like, oh, I'm like, you say that every time. Every time you hear me, but then every time I see you again, we're right down the same alley. So a lot of people need to understand, get out of your own way. I say all that to say, stay out of your own way. If your blessings get blocked, please don't let it be you. Let it be blocked for a reason beyond your control, not because of you, because the last thing you want to do is block yourself.
Yes. Yes. T, I think that, again, you made such a valid point. I say this too, just to back up what you're saying. I liken it to when we were younger, and this was obviously before cell phones, when we just had the house phone,
Right.
and your friends used to call the house phone, and one or two things would happen. Either your mother or, some family member was on the phone. It's like, look, I'm on the phone right now. You're going to have to call them back. Or you just got that busy signal, at which point you'd have to hang up the phone and be like, dang, that was
Right.
loud.
Right.
So, but you knew that at some point the person would have the opportunity to get back to you. And I think that, because we live in a technological world now where we have so much access to one another, we have so much access to information, we
Mhm.
feel and think that there's no longer limitations. And I think that we have to, start to understand that there's always been limitations and there always should be limitations. And that just simply means that if somebody hasn't gotten back to you, don't, you have to take into consideration they have a whole entire life as well. And that can mean, like you said, they going through a number of things or dealing with a number of things. So let them technically go through whatever their list of, issues or things that they have to take care of, and then give them a minute and allow them to get back to you. Now, if it goes a couple of days or something like that, then understandably you go to yourself, oh, well, something's up, this, that, the third. But you got to give them a minute. We have to get back to understanding that, yes, as important as everyone is to us, we still have our own situations that we're trying to, make sense or rationalize or put, or do what we need to do to fix those moments. Once we
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
honestly, put that in perspective, then
Mhm.
everything else will flow like it's supposed to flow. Everything is about flow, and like I said, about energy. That's everything. Friends, family, jobs, whatever. I saw a post today that my brother put up, and I'll share this with y'all. And it simply said that You know, most of us are dealing with health issues and this and that and the third. Your health issues are energy as well. If you take the time to constantly be frustrated, be upset about, you know, things that are going on in the world, it eventually takes hold of your cells in your body, which is why it's so important to try to be as happy as you can, or try to find ways that keep you in a euphoric or loving state. I always say this to everybody, and I stand by this. Please tell me of a time in anybody's life where something great happened where they were mad, angry, or upset. It doesn't happen. It usually happens when you're in a loving state, when you're feeling good, when you're in the right quote unquote energy. That always seems to be how those things take, you know, take hold, take shape. But we tend to not look at it like that, because in all of our hearts and all of our minds, we think that, you know, like I said, there's the destination to everything. And I'm like, no, it's just moment by moment. And if you appreciate each moment, trust and believe, once you look back and you put all those moments together, you'd be like, Dag, this was a dope life. I talent. You know, T, I say this because you know this better than anybody, T. You remember them days of the birthday parties in LA. I'll just leave it at that, because, you know, you and I, you know, were there to witness it. But T, did we get up every day and it was jokes about playing pool, just jokes in general,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever? And
Anything, yeah.
it just spiraled into an amazing moment. It didn't, and it was organic. It, you know, nobody got up with, yo, today's agenda, guys, this is what we're gonna, you know, look to do. You just got up and you let it flow. You allowed the people, places, and circumstances to, you know, give it as positive energy as you can give to it, and turn into something amazing. And that's what I try to encourage people to do. That's what this journey is about. It's about making each moment as amazing as you can make it. End of story.
That's
Don't
it.
sit and harp on the negative. Make it
Look,
amazing.
and normally I would have an outro. I give an outro, but I think that served as the best outro somebody can get, man. You know what I
I
mean? Look back
appreciate
at the
that.
story, make it amazing. And again, stay out of your own way. This has been another Motivational Monday. I want to thank my co-host Amir Sealy. I want to thank the Reverend for stopping through. I want to thank John
Yes.
Phillips and all the comedians and promoters that made this weekend super special and gave me the epiphany to know what to look forward to and the driving force going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Salute.
Yes. Salute.